YouTube land. I see we got Miss Moni Hunt on here. So since you're the first one on here, I'm going to read your comment. It says, good evening, my gorgeous Demetra. Thank you so much. And my sexy brown sugar always, Donovan. It's the last day of Black History Month, and I'd like to know what things you'd like to see improved. He said, what things would you like to see improved in the Black community, and what things do you think still has not improved in the Black community, just to get the conversation started right? All right, well, give me a moment to go ahead and usher in the show to you, since you was the first one on with a question. And so it is a Meet Your Case show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even. Like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to my partner in crime, Donovan, a recovering Democrat, Sadiq, for all that he does. I want to say big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are participants, because this is probably the only show that reads each and every comment. I see some people trying to do it, but they don't do it like us. Anyway, I digress. So thank you for being here. Also want to say thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scene and making the show go further. And today we are going to be talking about We Have No Friends. Of course, I'm going to get a little bit more into that, but the Africans in the Ukraine are having a very hard time, and I guess some sort of a wake-up call. And I'm going to explain that in just a little bit, and hello, Tanaya, Kenitra, Thunder, Frank, how y'all doing? So, Donovan, what say you before we get into it and we answer Moni's question really quick?
Yes, you guys. Thank you, guys. Welcome to the Demetra K Show. You guys also remember she has a podcast, so go and tune into that. If you guys get a chance, you're stuck in traffic somewhere, have nothing else to do. Do us a favor. Please like, share, subscribe, and even join the broadcast and get into that. And please be mindful today. YouTube and a lot of platforms are interrupting Black broadcasts in regards as we get important messages out. And I think this is going to be an important message to get out there. And if you guys will just do us a favor and share it on your platforms, and so that some people can be educated and know what is actually really going on, because what's happening in the Ukraine is very, very serious. And the question is, do Black people really give a damn at this point? And we're not getting shit done here, so why should we go over there, right? And I'm a military person saying that. And by the way, I did get a new microphone. Well, not new, I've had it, but I just installed it. So if you hear me very, very, very good, give me 2 thumbs up.
Yes, indeed, Thunder. John Henry Clark said that. And who else came on here? William and Brotham, how you doing? And Sunlight, what's going on with you? So anyway, before I get started, I was listening to the Savior's Day message, the Swan Song by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I believe he is still on. And so I took a whole bunch of notes. I won't get into them now, but I want to say that the broadcast of the Swan Song was kicked off of YouTube and eventually kicked off of Facebook. And so they are on Rumble on NOI.org. And so, yes, as Donovan said, they are targeting Black, outlets and messages and things like that, which I was surprised that, the minister was on Facebook for as long as he was. But he really was, saying some really eye-opening things that we really need to be paying attention to. But he said that he is not going anywhere anytime soon, just to let everybody know. All right. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what's going on in the Ukraine. Last week, Vladimir Putin kicked it off from Russia. He, shot some bombs and missiles over into the Ukraine. Now, there's a whole bunch of reasons they're saying he did it. He's saying that the Ukraine formed an alliance with NATO and, the United States, and he was concerned about that, and his concerns were not addressed. He said that the Ukraine was encroaching upon Russia. And, some people are saying that he basically wanted to overthrow the government and overtake the government. So whatever narrative you want to believe, needless to say, the Ukraine is under attack from Russia. All right. So during that, people are being told to leave. And so they, being the Ukrainians, they're saying, hey, women and children should be able to leave first, right? All right. And so I don't know if you guys also know, about 20% of the students there in the Ukraine are African. And so a lot of African students are in the Ukraine to study for medicine and a whole bunch of other things. And so they're like, okay, great. We need to get out of here too, right? Well, not so much. Watch this video really quick, and then I'll go ahead and I'll continue to explain. Okay, so what you saw there was Africans trying to leave the Ukraine, and they were trying to go into Poland, but they were being stopped. Now, there's different stories coming out saying that it was the Ukrainian officials, police officers, soldiers, whoever was stopping Africans from getting on the train. And then they were saying, no, it's the Poland officers or officials are stopping them from getting on the train to go into Poland. And so they're saying that they're having a hard time getting out of the Ukraine to try to go anywhere. And so, of course, they are saying it's racism going on there. And, you know, and I've seen videos and pictures of African women with their babies in the freezing cold. It said it was 3 degrees, and they are in the cold waiting to get on the train or get transportation out of there because they're dropping bombs, right? They're dropping bombs in the Ukraine. People are dying, and so they are told to leave. Now, the other problem is their countries, so as Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco, and Egypt, and a few others, but those are predominantly what's over there as far as Africa. They're being told by their countries, well, you know, you're on your own, kind of. So that's why I said we have no friends. And, of course, that comes from John Henrik Clarke, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, I should say, said we have no friends. And it's so sad that, well, we're not shocked that in the Ukraine, they're European, right, that they are not being kind to Black people, African people. But it's a little shocking that their own nations, you know, are like, well, you know, you guys are on your own, do what you can. When we over here, see, this is why I didn't really say a whole lot about the whole Ukraine situation, because I see a lot of us, oh, so sad, ooh, all of that. And listen, it is sad what, you know, to have a bomb dropped on you and your whole life is turned upside down. And it is sad. So don't mistake me in that. But what I cannot for the life of me understand is why we as Black people all of a sudden have bleeding hearts for everybody else, but we don't have a bleeding heart for the things that we're going through. And I'm not on social media a lot, but I haven't seen a lot of people yet talk about what is going on with the Africans in the Ukraine. But I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh, it's not right, and oh, it's so sad, and oh, Putin, he's a horrible person, and all this other stuff. But where is the outcry for Black people around the world? Now, there's a hashtag called hashtag Africans in Ukraine or something like that. So it is starting to raise awareness. People are, you know, pooling funds together and stuff, trying to help them get out of there. But it's like, here we are, you know, and then the United States, they sent billions of dollars over there to help in the efforts with the Ukraine. But it's like, what happened to helping the Africans? Or better yet, what happened to helping the Black people over here? Because you don't have any money for us, but you have money for other people. And the other thing that they won't tell you is that the Clinton administration helped to destabilize the Ukraine because they told them to give up their nuclear weapons, and they did. And so they're not, let me finish now. They're not going to tell y'all the whole story. But that's what we kind of talked about this the other day as far as the media putting these narratives out. But yeah, we won't get the whole situation. I had people calling me all last week asking me, Oh, what's going on with the Ukraine and Russia? What's going on in Ukraine and Russia? I'm like, you don't have Google? Go find out for yourself, or you can continue believing what they tell you, just like they've told us about Muammar Gaddafi. You know, he's this big time terrorist, but they forgot to tell you that they destabilized the government to the point of slavery, full-fledged slavery going over there in Libya and all kind of other places around the world. The United States has been complicit, but we got these Africans who were, you know, stuck and destitute, and nobody's talking about it. So that goes back to my original point. We have no friends even amongst ourselves. Donovan, what say you before I get to these comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in there. Isn't it funny how when the United States asks these countries to denuclearize, they get destabilized and they can't defend themselves? That is the main reason you keep nuclear weapons. Notice North Korea has nuclear weapons and nobody even tries to bother them in regard to invasions or anything like that. But like you said, this policy goes back a couple of administrations. It just goes back, and that's how they do it. But I did a quick broadcast earlier before we started, and I just showed people again how. Notice the media reported that Joe Biden authorized another $350 million in Ukrainian aid. Key word there. He authorized an additional $350 million. Well, we didn't hear about the first time he authorized your tax dollars to go for the benefit of other people. And now he is asking the European Union and the people that they should take in some Ukrainians as well, because obviously he's going to bring some of those people over here. And then when you bring those people over here, quickly, we give them all the resources that they need to set up. But when it comes to black people, we need to study. But let you be a black person, let's say from Haiti, we're putting you on the plane and sending you back to a failed state. Please, somebody make it make sense. I just wanted to say that real quick. And, it's a shame. But as a military person right now, black people, if we did go to war in support of the Ukraine, they are not a NATO member. One of the problems that Putin has is he doesn't want NATO countries on his border. That is why Ukraine has applied for NATO membership, and that is the biggest issue with what's his name, the Russian leader over there, and
Vladimir.
Yeah, yes, and he doesn't want NATO countries on his border. He wants a buffer country to kind of buffer that, and that's what that's about. So right now, ask yourself this: if we went to war with Russia right now, why would black people go at this point? We're not getting any support here whatsoever. So why would you go over there to support the bullshit that's going on over there?
Yeah, or you get so wrapped up into it over here. You're hashtagging and you're making, posts about the Ukrainians. And again, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be spared bombs and stuff, but look what's going on with, black people over there. So anyway, let me get to these comments. All right. And Frank said, I got to hit the gym. Give me an hour, y'all. All right, then. And Kenitra, if I didn't already, hello, how are you? Says now they have to walk almost 2 days to Hungary for shelter. Even in time of war, they can't put their racism aside. Shaking my head. Absolutely. They're going to be racist no matter what, bombs flying over and everything.
Yeah. And real quick, you guys got to realize with that winter being over there, those people that are trying to go to the border, they don't have like hotels and stuff for those people to stay in. They are staying in like -2 degree weather. There's no shelter.
They're outside.
Yeah, they're outside.
And Thundy says, I've seen reports that they are refusing to allow black Ukrainians to board trains to get out of the country until all the white Ukrainians board, and Poland is refusing black ones entry. Wake up call. Yep, that's exactly what's going on. And our black Ukrainians and, Africans who are over there studying or whatever they're doing over there working. And Kiki, I hope I said that right. How you doing? And it's your girl. How you doing? It says afternoon, fam. And see Ruffin, hello. He says, hi, y'all. Hope all is well. It is and wins. Fair call. How you doing? He says, I don't care about Caucasian or Caucasian wars. Libya is still messed up. There you go. And William is say, I hope I said that right. Interscene violence is not an African American concern. Okay. And Nancy, how you doing? He says Putin pig. Okay. And Dave, how you doing? He says 8,000 from Morocco, 4,000 from Nigeria, 3,500 from Egypt, stuck in Ukraine. Yes, so it's quite a few people just stuck there because they're not allowing them to pass, right? They were supposed to be trying to go to Poland, and Polish people said, nah, can't come here. So, and Anita, how you doing? Greetings to you as well. And Kenitra says, they have been placing me in Facebook jail a lot lately. I'm like, wow, I don't even say anything wrong, laughing my ass off. They don't want us awake at all. I think you meant to say, Monet, how you doing? And Harley, what's going on? And Thundy says, all I have to say is stock up, family. Hard times are coming. Yes, indeed. And I have been stocking up. We see it, right? We see it on the wall. And don't think that the cost is not going to continue to go up here, because it is. And that guy from Texas, how you doing? He says they even had 2-month-old baby in 3-degree weather. Yes, I did see that, trying to, get out of here. And they're like, we don't care, right? And Harley says, wait, what are they saying? So it sounds like they're, on the video, they were pushing back with the officials there. I guess it was the Ukrainian officials, saying, it's not right. We need to get on there. They were saying, I don't know if that's what they were saying there, but, you guys were saying that women and children will be able to go first. When we have, women and children here that are black, why aren't they on the train, So I think that's what they were saying.
You answered your own question. They were black.
Right. And Kiki says, wow. He says, white on white crime. I care not about our enemies. I mean, they don't care about us. And thank you so much, Marcus. I'm glad to see that you got my message. And William says that Donovan is becoming a recovering Democrat, a 12-step program, or just one. At this point, it's been recovering so long, I think it's like 20.
Yeah, it's a lifetime. Yeah, it's a lifetime thing.
Yeah. And old school, how you doing? He says, we foundational black Americans don't care about what white on white war or the fleeing of Africans. The U.S. need to cut us our check. They're giving other groups money. We need ours. Absolutely. And news from the Edge Mom, what's going on, which he says, welcome to the Demetra K Show. Yes, indeed. And Thunder says, I was wondering why Putin called them Nazis in his speech. I'm glad somebody brought that up, because to do what they're doing to Africans, and they're saying there's other people too, like Latin and Arabs, they're getting the same treatment. But, I mean, what do you call that treatment? Isn't that what the Nazis were doing to the Jews? I'm just asking questions. Kubler, how you doing? He says, stop going where we aren't wanted. Absolutely. And they're saying a lot of the Africans are over there because medical school is extremely cheap in the Ukraine. So
yeah, it's kind of like going to Cuba. You guys want to be doctors. Cuba will teach you to be a doctor almost basically free.
Mm-hmm. And Mickey, how you doing? Says peace at Demetra K and the recovering Democrat. And Donovan said there is no shelter while they hold up in the blacks on the border. Yeah, they're just out there in the elements. And Jeffrey, how you doing? Said that's crazy. Yes, indeed. He said that's a huge sign leaving our people behind. Yeah, and they're blatant about it. Like, you get on, but right now we're going to make sure ours is good, right? And we should take a cue from that. Like, everybody else make sure that their people are good, but we don't. We make sure everybody else is good, just like they do with us, right? And Broken says, when will they learn once OHAS system of corruption gets done with their tools? They break their tools. Yes, indeed. And Walt, how you doing? Said, how is it shocking when they did the same thing during slavery? Wow.
Yeah, and real quick, how many of you guys know when Joe Biden's talking about sanctions, we're going to put these sanctions and make them just pay? They didn't sanction a lot of the banks. The oil from Germany still went to fund the Russian war machine. So you got to dig deeper and really look at what these guys are saying. It's not true. They are still funding the Russian war machine. They still have monetary support from the Western European powers that supposedly supposed to come in there with their white hats and save the day.
Right. And Harley says, hope y'all knew we will never get a check from America. It's the way it's looking, huh? And Kiki, how you doing? Says, I have posted about it not long ago. Okay, well, good. Because like I said, I haven't been on Facebook. I was just watching the minister for the last couple of hours. And Kenitra says, when I saw the African lady with her little infant, she was trying to feed him. It broke my heart. Yeah, that was very hard to watch. And it's freezing. I mean, imagine, it was 40 degrees here when I went out this morning. I was freezing, right? And I had a coat on and everything. But imagine 3 degrees, and they didn't look like they had on very many clothes at all. I mean, not enough to sustain the element anyway. And Kubler says, war sucks, but America has no reason to get involved. It skipped up. Give me a second. Sometimes my comments will skip up.
This Russian conflict. Well, the thing is, you got to remember, war is big money. That's why we do it. We can't be in peace at no time. That's what I'm saying. When we pulled out of Afghanistan, look at how many of the warmongers were pissed off at the money that's being lost. War is big money.
Absolutely. And Walt, and I'm gonna get to these because I see I got a lot. Walt says only black YouTubes are talking about this issue. Well, I'm glad. We need more people to talk about it. And Harley says, or any bill of that law that will be beneficial for us. Coolblur, you said black people got the new Supreme Court justice. We're gonna talk about that a little bit too. And the guy from Texas said, once again, Tariq is right. They're fleeing their homeland in face of war. And Kiki says, and please excuse my rudeness. Hello, Queen Demetra, and hello, Sir Donovan. Well, thank you so much. And I see. So how you doing? It says, Shalom family. It is only completely obvious that we have no friends on the planet Earth. John Henry Clark said it also. He did not coin the phrase. Yeah, he actually said you have no friends, but you're absolutely right. And William says, what? No study to give them money. Exactly. And Walt says there's more debt than our tax dollars. He is putting America in greater debt. They don't care about that. They just keep printing the money, right? And Sharon 65, how you doing? He says we need to stop spending in the U.S. Yeah, we do. We need to start boycotting and holding our dollars. And Jeffrey says, good information, Ms. Dimitri K. I appreciate that. And Kiki says, Indian people were assaulted and not allowed to pass the Polish border. Also, I just watched 5 reports. They are home now. I asked one, do he still think that he's one of them? Exactly. So yes, as I said, there were other people there that were not allowed to pass as well. And Thunder, you said that's correct, Don. They disarm you so you can be defenseless, hence the gun. Buyback only in the black community. You better believe it. And Ridiculous Thought says Putin also threatened Sweden and Finland to not align with NATO. And Moni says, personally, I'm a little sick and tired of them constantly talking on this. While I understand it may be a war going on with these people and their country, black community has nothing to do with it. Correct. Jeffrey says racism ain't going nowhere at all, nowhere around the world. And Lion ruled the jungle without fear. I love it. How you doing? He says, I'm ex-military myself in the 80s, and we always say this day will come. And if you think Putin is going to back up, you make a sad mistake. Yeah, I mean, does he look like he's backing up? He's like,
yeah. As a matter of fact, he just today initiated his nuclear forces. So I don't know if he's saber rattling, but he did activate his nuclear forces.
Well, yeah, he shot off some missiles in the beginning. So I don't know. I just kind of think we should be like, yeah, he's with the stuff, right? And Jamarcus, how you doing? The Pioneer was going on with you. Says, good evening, beautiful queen and wise king. Wilbler, how you doing? And Donovan says, have we heard anything from the CDC or Jim Crow Clyburn? I haven't personally, but I don't know. Martin says, Donovan, good evening, my sexy brown sugar. Glad to see you, handsome face as usual. He says, black community does not have time to be fighting no man's war to protect these people ever truly. Yes, indeed. And Donovan asked, what about my auntie Maxine and Honey Bun? You wow. Sheila Jackson Lee, Kamala, anybody representing black interests? Good question. And Sherry, how you doing? He says, Jim Crow Joe is sending aid to other countries and won't give foundational blacks reparations, but want your vote. He can kick rocks all day long. Carmen, how you doing? It says contact information to get out of Ukraine is being posted on IG for Nigerians. Okay. So hopefully we can get that information. We can put it up. Hey, some Nigerians are watching. And I don't know how to say your name, but hello, how are you? He says, did y'all know that the U.S. was convicted of genocide in October against black, brown, and indigenous people? Yeah, but you know what? They don't care about that. You talk about from the UN, right?
Yeah. Who's going to check me, boo?
Right. And Moni said the Pioneer, I say talk to Pioneer. And Carmen says Romania is being offered as a country of refuge for African refugees. Well, that's good to know. And Moni says, I really didn't like and don't understand the purpose of why you would deny blacks from being able to leave your country. That's what I need somebody to explain to me. To give me your input, Donovan, too. Well, it's not that they don't want them to leave necessarily. They want their own people to get to safety first. And then the other issue is on the other side of where they're going. They're like, well, we don't want y'all to come here either. So,
right. And then the same thing like here, what's going on in the United States. They don't want us to be here, but we're the basis of their economy. So there's all kinds of reasons why they don't want certain groups to leave.
Absolutely. And the Pioneer says, I hope you guys take time to talk about Biden's recent pick for the SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States. Yeah, we will talk about it. And the foundational Black American woman And he said, I wonder what the Trump lovers have to say about that move. Laugh out loud. You know we're going to talk about it, brother. I don't know if you're going to like what we got to say, though, but we'll get into it. And Monet says that war is not our problem. We have issues of our own, but we know it will affect us. Get yourself and your household together. Start saving everything and garden. Yes, if y'all saw the video that I put up on the African Diaspora News channel, that Kamala says that, we are going to incur some costs. And as always, when America catches a cold, black people catch a flu. So, if we're already having a hard time making it now, imagine what the implications of that war over there is going to mean for us, because Russia supplies next to Canada most of our oil, and so if they cut us off, then what? And if prices are going to skyrocket from energy, from your gas into your heating bill. I've already seen before the war started, my heating bill doubled last month. So,
well, gas right now in California is $5. They're saying with this war thing going on, we're looking at $7 to $8 in California. Cheap gas. We're not talking about premium. We're talking about the cheapest.
Absolutely. And Lion Ruler of the Jungle Without Fear, he says Putin will not take what black people does. This will not end nicely, and look out for the Chinese in a few weeks. Good point. And Jeffrey says Biden, he says, sent $350 million to the Ukraine. Yes, he did.
Additional.
Yes. And I wish I knew how to say your name, but I don't know if it's a different language per se. It says, why aren't the African leaders stepping in? Surely they can have their people evacuated. Well, they pretty much told them they were on their own. I think that's jacked up, right? And let's see. And Moni says, if this isn't a wake-up call to the black community, I don't know what will be anytime these people won't even let you leave their country, something they should enjoy. That's a sad from hell, clearly. Yes, indeed. And Al, how you doing? It says Facebook and YouTube have stopped Savior Day speech. Yes, but you go on to NOI.org. They have it on other platforms. Rumble is one of them. That's what I was watching on when I came on here. But they try to silence the minister, but you can't silence the man of God. You can't do that. The message gonna get out anyway. Y'all got to remember, way before the internet, the Nation of Islam was getting their messages out, through Muhammad Speaks newspaper and a whole host of other ways. So this is just another platform to get it out on, but it ain't gonna stop the word. And Jeffrey says we need to take care of our people the same way first. Yes. And William says, how will Russia treat the blacks left behind?
Black people have no value as prisoners of wars and stuff, so basically they will be killed.
Right. And then Miss Pollard, how you doing? Says, good evening, everyone. Yes, indeed. And the Pioneer says, we also need to understand the history of that region. They are called Slavic, and that name is derived from the word slave, because people from that region were the original slaves of the Arabs. It's good teaching right there. And there's also said that, there's a lot of Russians in the Ukrainians in Russia, because they're so close together. So it's like, you potentially have what they had during the Civil War, right? Brother fighting brother and vice versa.
Yeah,
all of that.
Yeah, they're basically the same people when it comes to their language and genetics and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And William says Aeroflot just left LAX yesterday. And what is that exactly?
That's the Russian airline. Russian, yeah.
Thank you. And Joel, how you doing? Says there's videos of neo-Nazis in the Ukraine army blocking black Ukrainians from leaving. Yeah, and as someone said, Putin was accusing them of Nazism over there. And it kind of looks like that's what's going on to me. I don't know. And Mr. James, how you doing? He says the white refugees will be here soon. Come on now. We'll be here soon enough. Afghans, Latinos, now white, their population needs the boost. See, I'm glad somebody screwed on their thinking caps today. You hear the word right there. That's exactly what's going to happen. And they're going to get reparations once they get over here. Jeffrey says they didn't sanction the key imports banks and companies for Russia. Yeah, and yes. I've seen a couple other companies are starting to kind of pull out where they can, but it sounds like Putin is working with a lot of money for right now. I'm sure eventually it will harm him in the long run.
Well, it probably will in the long run, but you got to remember, he's been hollering about this for 6-7 years since the Clinton administration. So he's built up his reserves and his things to initiate this aggressive action. So again, when you don't stop the oil in a war machine, that's what defeated Nazi Germany in World War II. We bombed all of the oil plants and stuff like that. That's the whole key.
Good word. And Pamela, how you doing? It says the oil and gas prices are going to go up. We all know the food prices have gone up. Yep, everything you can pay for is going to go up. And
so much for that $15 an hour job at Amazon, huh?
Right. Gregory X, how you doing? It says, let us stay out of European tribal wars. Absolutely. And Kenitra says, my gas bill at home literally went up from 50 to 140. I had to call them to make sure it was correct. Yeah, same here. I mean, I don't run a lot of electricity here or heat, but on average, it's like $30-something. And the next month it was like 70. I was like, we better start putting on some more clothes around here.
Y'all better do like me and start putting up your own solar panels and, doing the heat. I'm not talking through that program that they do. That's a scam. You could do it yourself. You don't need to go and put your house on mortgage for 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like yeah. Mm-mm. You can put your own panels up, get your own power supply, and, connect it to your AC or connect it to whatever. It's not as hard as they would make you think it is.
Angela, how you doing? It says, what are Black people doing in Ukraine? Well, a lot of them are going to school and working and things like that. So it says that the medical program there for students is extremely cheap. And so that's why a lot of them were over there to study. And Gilvetta, how you doing? It says, good evening, Demetra K and Donovan and B. Black First family coming in late. No, you're right on time. And Thunder says, I saw some TikTokers practicing their crocosack dance. What the hell?
The one with the feet.
For real, Thunder, for real. And Kiki says the world keeps showing us that Black skin is hated worldwide. I get tired of people in European countries lying about racism not being as bad as in America. The lies. Black people keep being shown that our skin color is hated everywhere, and we need to get that memo and stop playing these reindeer games. Rudolph couldn't play them, so we're not going to play them either. We Black people truly need to get ourselves together on period. Absolutely. I love it. And Martin says, I really don't give a damn about their war. I'm tired of hearing about it on every network personally until it's some real action popping off. I could care less, not trying to be cruel, just telling the truth. Well, I feel what you're saying. I just think, if we're going to be abreast certain things, it should be that of world news, right? Like just to kind of see what's going on, because eventually it is going to affect us. Like we are always going to be affected the most by whatever goes on in the world, especially here in the United States. And Pioneer says, let the white people battle it out with each other like, he says, Goog and Magag. Who was that? And Morning says, we don't ever have to get a check from America, but America's going to get a wonderful behind whooping in many different ways. It may take some time. Then maybe many of us will not live to see on down the road. I think you meant. And Kiki says, hell no, all they're representing is their dusty ass wigs. Damn. And the guy from Texas says, one of Putin's top officials is running on borrowed time. And Kenitra says, they better wake up. We are all we got. Absolutely. Cortez, how you doing? It says, good evening, Donovan and Demetra. Kiki says, he's replying to Kenitra. And Don, what's going on? It says, hey, Demetra and Donovan, this is the push button on the Great Reset. Yes, indeed. And it has been for a while. I said that. And along with many others, that the pandemic was supposed to be the Great Reset, but apparently not, right? And Moni says, Demetra, I like to say with the judge that's going to be elected, though she may be a standard raccoon, I'm looking for future generations to come that is going to be younger Black women. Okay, and Entree, how you doing? So yeah, it's almost $4 here in Virginia. Yeah, it's over $3 here in Texas, which is, high because it's normally like $2 or so, but now it's gone to the $3 range. So everybody's going to feel the pinch. And thank you, Marcus, for sharing the link. If you guys are in the Facebook watching this somewhere and you want me to read your comment, click on the link, come over here, and I would love to do that. And Thunder says, seems like they can come up with all types of sums of money for everyone else. Let's find out what they did and demand that they do same for since they have so much practice. Exactly. And William says, China is paying close attention to the situation while eyeing Taiwan. All right. And the Pioneer says, don't worry about offending me, Queen. Laugh out loud. I don't support Biden or Trump, but I know you have a lot of Trump supporters in the chat interested in their take on this move. Well, are there a lot of Trump supporters, or are there just a lot of people saying that I'm not going to continue voting for oppression? Is that more the case? And Andre says, wow, the leadership ain't worth a damn. Exactly. And Kubler says, truthfully, the only black members of the diaspora who focus on nation building is the alternative non-Christian religious sector, the Moors, the Hebrews, the nation, etc., etc. Yep. Jafia, how you doing? Good evening to you as well. And I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says, bet you America go with clean energy now. Or, they might still be making money hand over fist from, these all the gouging is really what it is. I mean, there's gouging going on everywhere in America, from housing, rent, mortgages, food, clothes, gas, you name it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Biden made a statement begging the oil companies not to gouge prices, because he knows if they do that, people, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, when it affects their wallet, they rise up. They just have an outrage.
Now he's saying no gouging when y'all are paying in California $5 a gallon.
Right. Okay. And then, the clean energy, $70,000 Teslas. Who can afford that?
Right. And Mickey, if I didn't already, hello, how are you? Says the KB's on KB's drama ain't my fight. And that's an interesting way of saying it. Kenitra says people are not stepping in because they want that smoke with Putin. Plain and simple, just like Joe said, he wasn't going to get Americans. They don't want Big Daddy P to interpret that as wanting to fight. Yeah, because clearly Putin is with the stuff, right? And you say same people. And Mona said, Donovan, can you please tell me what are some countries that you like that the cost of living is reasonable and is not impoverished and is not severely hot, whether one could relocate to affordable?
Antarctica.
Hey, it's kind of cold, brother.
I mean, everything else, a lot of the nations that we consider third world are building. They are doing stuff. I was in Vietnam. They're doing stuff. The Bund in China didn't have a skyline in 40 years. The Bund is a huge, beautiful skyline that they have. These countries are growing. America has been on the decline since World War II. So Antarctica is really the only place. You might want to go to Tonga or one of the native islands, but they have rules there to where, as an American or somebody, you're not a citizen, you can't own anything there, you're just a visitor. And that's how it's always going to be. They protect their people, their jobs, their economies.
Yes, indeed. And the Pioneer says, how will Trump lovers try to spin it to make their man look good, knowing damn well that he never put a black woman in that position, foundational black Americans or otherwise? We're going to get into it. I just want to read these comments down. And Jafia says, Biden is already requesting more than $6 billion to assist the Ukraine. Absolutely. And Demetrius, how you doing? Says, get ready for Biden to flood America with more white supremacist refugees from the Ukraine. This war is a perfect excuse. Eastern Europe is white supremacy central. Why do y'all think Giuliani went there so much? Good point. And the Pioneer says, sis, you were looking exceptionally sexy yesterday with that cap on your hair. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I just didn't feel like combing my hair. And Kenitra says, people are making me laugh with this pulling the Russian vodka from their shelves. For real? Y'all already paid for it. Russia is not losing money. You are. Lord, help them. I guess it's for symbolism like everything else. Yeah, that's really silly, right? You might need to drink it in these hard times, And Joy says, Russia sank a Ukraine warship. Oh, so
they just sank. Yeah,
they just sank. Got it. A Ukrainian warship. It's getting hotter. Wow. And Don says the FBI has sent white supremacists to train with the Ukrainian militia. Wait until they return to America. They're getting ready for the race war here. We getting it together because nobody anywhere has love for us, right? Including not ourselves a lot, right? And Harley says, my son is getting $19 an hour at Amazon out here in the Bay.
And, if you're in the Bay Area in San Francisco, $19 an hour, that's equivalent to like $7.50. You guys he should be getting at least $27, $28.
In the $30.
Yeah.
Yeah. San Francisco is through the roof. And Joel, you say, but he's working. So, and Joey says, time to invest heavily in energy stock. Yeah, that stock is already skyrocketing. And, but yeah, you got a good point. If you got the money, get in. And Deadshot, how you doing? And Donovan says, I love seeing us come together on a Sunday like family sitting at a dinner table. What we eating?
Pause.
One says it would be very ironic if both Russia and China went after the U.S. We would be crushed instantly. Then we will see who is the greatest and the baddest country of it all.
Well, that wouldn't happen, being that China is the second biggest economy next to us. It's all about business and money. You know, everything is based on economics. People do not go to war unless it's based on economics. So you just named the three biggest players that sit on the Security Council, right? These are permanent members. Russia went to war knowing that they can veto anything the United Nations does. So it's like the game is rigged.
Absolutely. And see, so he says, all respect to ancestor John Henry Clark, clearly put, even the Bible says they hated us without a cause. The Bible is not a religious book. It's the black heritage of others hating us. I mean, there's a lot of prophetic things that are in that book, so I don't discount it completely. The guy from Texas says, grow your own food. Yes. But, you know, unfortunately, a lot of us just won't do that, right? And if you're not going to grow your own food, at least stock things that will last, right? Like beans, rice, and things like that, you know, water, most definitely. And Jeffrey says, one thing you don't want to do as a country is give up your nuclear weapons. You become weak as soon as you do. Yeah, but the United States did convince the Ukraine to do that, and they did for whatever reason. Javai says gas is up to $4.50 in New York, and it's just going to get, worse and worse. And let's see here. Adaya, how you doing? I hope I said that right. You say Yui and Majoj, excuse me if I'm pronouncing these names wrong, are the evil people that came from Asia through a hole there in the Quran in Surah Kaf. Okay. And Dennis, how are you doing? He says, hey, Dimitri and Donovan. And Pioneer says, until some real action pops off, Russia just went to war and threatened the West with their nukes on high alert. How much action are some of y'all waiting for? A mushroom cloud over LA? Now, I'm personally not looking for that, but I know what you're talking about. Arson, how you doing? Says, hello, my people. How are you all? We're doing well, and I hope you're doing the same. It says, excuse my stupid question, but in a nutshell, how does war create money again? I just never seem to get it all. I'll let Donovan answer that for you.
Profiteers. In every war, profiteering. It's, like you start a company, and let's say that the government needs uniforms. They're going to give you billions of dollars in uniforms. During the recent Gulf War here in the United States, they had people sending in invoices, and the government was just paying it without even checking it because the government's too busy running a war. So people start businesses and they make big money. Why do you think that it's the stupidest idea ever? Oh, we're going to outsource the military. They're outsourcing it so they can steal your tax dollars. At one time, the military did their own dental. The military was self-sufficient. How do you go to war with people that dry clean your clothes in the green zone? How do you go to war with the Burger King? How do you go to war with all this stuff? This is how they do it. It's about making big money.
Also, yeah, with 9/11, Halliburton cleaned up, and Halliburton was a company of Dick Cheney. I pass by it a lot of times when I'm driving down. I forget the freeway, but I see the company all the time, and I always think about how they went over there. You got the construction contracts and
no bid construction contracts, no bid.
Yeah, so there you go. It's nepotism, a lot of it, right? And Kubler, he said Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is the new Clarence Thomas, 8 years a judge and now heading to the Supreme Court. And I love how they left Johnson off of her name until Paul Ryan confirmed their relationship. Yes, indeed, they're related by marriage. Her husband's twin brother is married to his sister, his wife's sister, something like that. But yeah, needless to say, they are related by marriage. And Thunder says, one thing I learned for sure, history has shown me, if America says someone is the bad guy, recheck, double check, and triple check again, more than likely it's BS. Yes, indeed, brother. You got it right. And Kiki says, I keep seeing people talking about this new Supreme Court justice, but the only thing I keep hearing is her husband being non-black. Can someone please inform why she's not qualified or good pick credentials wise? Please, serious question, because I haven't heard much about her and I really want to know.
We will get on that. Continue the reading.
Yes, we will get on. I'm just trying to clear the rest of these comments because I see got quite a few. Sydney, how are you? Long time no see. Says, hey guys, I just wanted to say the black people who the video was shown not being able to leave was false. Well, even if that one was false, I've seen other videos. That was just one that I picked. So if that one wasn't true, I have seen other videos of people saying that they were not able to leave. So
Well, if you don't see those videos, just go on some of the social media platforms. You see these people screaming to get out of there.
Or, I mean, there's a lot of newspapers that I did look at before I came on here, and I'll tell you which one it was. So let's see. This one was, where'd it go? It's not up here. Hold on, let me see. Because, I don't want to come off as I'm giving out false information. It was just one for a couple of hours ago. So Al Jazeera is talking about it. Insider, Independent, Irish Times. That was the one I read. So, I mean, there's quite a few publications that are talking about it. If you guys want to go check it out. And Kubler says Singapore. And Tracy says the U.S. will probably take Ukraine refugees and give them a bag of it. And if I didn't